This was by far the most important episode of The Mandalorian to this point. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I just finished watching Chapter 13 of The Mandalorian, and let me just say, wow. First of all, before I dive into this, let me just say, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen this episode, obviously you should exit this video now. But now with that being said, let's dive into this. Ahsoka's live-action debut was way more than I expected. I wasn't even sure if we were going to see her use a lightsaber at all, and half of the episode is her wielding both of her white lightsabers, and it was just amazing. And I just want to say, forgive me if I'm rambling here a little bit. I just watched this episode, and I am talking completely off the top of my head. This is really an extremely raw reaction to what I just watched, and so I'm just kind of going to give my thoughts on this and talk about how excited I am about what I just watched and about the future of this show and about what we have been referring to as the Filoniverse, because I think this has very large ties, not just for The Mandalorian. Like, this feels much bigger than just The Mandalorian now. Now, the child has a name. Like, I was not expecting Ahsoka to have any information on him, let alone his name and where he's come from and what he did. Like, the fact that he was trained at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, this makes sense, but I was not expecting it. That came out of left field totally for me. I had no idea that was coming. And I think this idea that he's been hiding his abilities in order to stay alive is so awesome, and it gives so much more depth and meaning to this character who we had really just viewed as a child who is completely unaware and doesn't really care about what's going on around him. He's a lot more intelligent than that, apparently. Moving away from him a little bit, though, in regards to Rosario Dawson, I thought she nailed this character. I could not be happier with how she channeled the animated version of Ahsoka. She did a fantastic job, and I am so looking forward to seeing her in the future. Whether it's in her own spin-off or in future Mandalorian episodes or whatever it is, I can almost guarantee you this is not the last we're going to see of Ahsoka in live action. So now let's get into that a little more. I loved Ahsoka's references to the Clone Wars and to Anakin Skywalker, actually. Like when she said she's seen what attachment can do to a fully fledged Jedi Knight, I got chills. That was so awesome. And I like that there's this hesitation to train the child because of what she's seen and because of her experiences during the Clone Wars. Now, she has instructed Mando to take Grogu to Tython, which I don't actually know too much about Tython, but from what I've heard and looked into so far, it was a very important planet in Legends, and it could come around to play a similar role in canon. And so, when they do eventually get there, as I'm sure they will, if the child does reach out through the Force, the big question for me is who will come? I had a video a few weeks ago where I said I thought Luke Skywalker was eventually going to have to appear in The Mandalorian, and I think this is pointing toward that even more. Because the only Jedi I can think of off the top of my head that are alive, that we know for sure are alive right now, are Ahsoka, maybe Ezra, and Luke Skywalker. And perhaps he's training Leia at this point. I'm not really sure exactly how that lines up. But you can really see how the Filoniverse is starting to tie everything together, including all three trilogies, the Clone Wars, Rebels, and The Mandalorian. And I'm predicting there's going to be some spin-off shows, maybe one about Luke Skywalker, maybe one about Ahsoka, which is really going to start to tie things in even more. And not only do I think that that helps them to move successfully into a new era of Star Wars, it could also help fans to come around to the sequel trilogy, which has received a decent amount of hate. You know, some of it warranted, some of it maybe unwarranted, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want to talk about the sequels right now. This episode was huge, guys. And I know I've probably said that 5 times by now, but this is just so much bigger than I think anyone really realized it was going to be, for sure during season 1, but now, like, I mean, this was great. The action scenes for Ahsoka were outstanding. Like, the way the episode opened, I was totally, like I said, I was not expecting any lightsaber action. I shouldn't say I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't counting on any lightsaber action, especially not to that degree. Like, that was so cool. So I am really looking forward to seeing how this season wraps up and how they move into things in the future. I am honestly expecting an announcement sometime in the next year or so for an Ahsoka Tano live-action TV series, possibly a Luke Skywalker TV series. So I am really, really excited. I am sorry if I rambled on here and sounded extremely unorganized, as I'm sure I did, but I just wanted to get on here and let you guys know how excited I am for the rest of this season. This was... like, it's not even close. This is by far my favorite episode of The Mandalorian, and what I think is the most important and most pivotal episode thus far, because of the change in direction we just made. The child just became so much more important than we already thought he was, and I'm so excited. But anyways, guys, I don't want to take up any more of your time in this video, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day wherever you may be. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and as usual, may the Force be with you always.